Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator with the Rudeman. We're in Albuquerque, and we're going to take a little trip to Las Vegas. So we're kind of up in the mountains here. It's kind of cool. Must be high desert. Anyway, we're going to take a trip to Las Vegas. So let's get started. All right, first of all, let's grab some power. There's external power available. We're going to grab it. And then we'll get this thing started. Give the crew a little air. Let's see what else we got to do. Let's turn the batteries on. Should have done that first, I suppose. And just a little bit of light. Probably won't need it today. It's pretty bright out there. And we're going to turn some lights on. Just a few. Turn our computer on. This is what our flight plan looks like today. From New Mexico, Albuquerque, to Las Vegas. It's not too awful long. We're going to fly over Flagstaff, and there's the little bit of the Grand Canyon, I think, that we're going to go over. Okay, so let's pull this in. KABQ to KLAS. There's our flight plan. Let's get started with ordering a little bit of fuel. Pull that in. We don't know what we're supposed to get yet. They've got 209.98, but I'm not quite sure if that's right. Nah, a little bit less than that. So let's get started. I'm going to do a fast today instead of a real time. I like to turn these up a little bit, even when it's bright. It's a little easier to use if you brighten these up a little bit. These as well, just a little. Makes them easier for me to see. Brighten up our computer here. We're still waiting for our GPS. It'll take a minute. So I'm just running through some checklists here. Check the throttle, make sure we're in idle. Turn a little brightness up down here. Make sure that our weather is off and the wind shear is off. We've got our cockpit door open. The speed brakes are off. Well, they're just not armed. Flaps are up. And the parking brake's on. Turn this floodlight up a little bit. And we'll wait for the GPS to come on. GPS is up. Let's head down here. Start pumping some information in here. Okay, there's the data for us, our departure, destination, all that kind of good stuff. Go up to init. Request this information. From and to, that's our alternate. That's our flight number today. JetBlue 53. from Albuquerque. Departure. Our runway is going to be 8 today for our departure. Our SID is going to be Red Run. And our transition will be GUP. Enter that. All right. Our arrival is going to be 26 left. And let's see if we have a star. Ruxtra 3, that's our star today. And I don't think we have a VIA, but let's double check. Yeah, I don't think we have a VIA today. So there's our arrival. Let's check this out now. See what it looks like. Okay, there's the first one between Gup and Ha-Ha. So we're just going to clear that and tie those two together. And a little bit of an issue here. I think we can just clear that. And that brings us into our destination. Now, let's take a look at it. All right, it looks good. No brakes. Okay, that looks good. Put this back to arc. All right, so that's laid in. Let's see how we're doing with the fuel. Fuel should be done. Let's get some passengers on board. See what we got here. 149 passengers, 6,000 pounds, 6,500 pounds of cargo. Let's get that in there. Okay, they're loading up pretty quickly. Turn that up a little bit. Yeah, we're waiting for that information. So let's go up to autopilot. We're going to do an initial 10,000. Let's find out what our barometer is supposed to be. Okay, 1029 and 1 degree Celsius. $10.29 is set on both barometers. Let's see, it's set down here. Everything's looking good. Okay, we got our fuel in, so let's start our APU. So first of all, fuel's in. Turn the pumps on. Start the APU. There, the flaps are open. Got some action down here. Wait till we get a little bit of air built up, air pressure. Now, we actually probably don't need a pushback, but that means, what that means if I don't do a pushback is that I'm going to fly right through these vehicles. So I suppose I should do a pushback. How's the passengers doing? Hey, we're done. Okay, so we have 127.8. 127.8 slash, and we've got 24.27%.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, on behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer, and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to see final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
All right, so our block fuel is 13.8. Get that in there. All right, that's all been figured up now. And we said we're going to do one flap. And we had 1 degree temperature. V2's at 136, 132, and 131. Easy peasy. All right, let's check this out. I think the fuel looks okay. Nothing in the center, everything in the wings. All right, I think we're ready for a pushback. Hook up our tug. Tug is attached. We're going to go backwards. Take the brake off. And actually, we can probably go that way. All right, let's look at our map here. And we're on runway 8, which I believe is this one right here, diagonally. It says 12, but it's 8. I better double check that. All right, I'm looking at little nav map here. And it shows 8 and 12 here. Oh, wait a minute, 8. 8 is the lengthwise one. All right, I see it now. I looked at it through that other thing, and it looked, I thought that was the top of it. See, it's covering the 12. The 8 is covering the 12. I was mistaken. I didn't have it blown in. I had it a little further out when I looked at it, and I just saw 8 there. So that would have been a little bit of a problem. That's kind of a short runway. All right, so we're here. We need to come out on this road, this runway, and run all the way down to there. Not too bad. All right, we're back far enough. Let's cut this guy off. Just hit the parking brake. Unhook from the tug. Yeah, since I have to do this pushback manually, normally what you'd be doing is you would be getting your engines running while the pushback's happening. And then the tug waits until you're done, until your engines are up and running. And then he gives you the all clear and you're ready to go. But since I'm having to do it manually, it's a little bit different. Now I can start my engines. All right, let's flip this thing over here. Let's hit engine number 1. We got it running. Wait till it's about 24, 25. Right here. Got a little sunshine poking through the window. All right. You can hear it. You heard it winding up. Let's hit number 2. It's winding up. Now we're listening for a loud click, because you can hear when the power starts in. And then we'll get an available up here and then an available up here. There's the click. There's the available. Now we're waiting for the second one. Now when we get a second available, that's when you would tell the tug driver that our engines are good. And then they would then clear your area so you could start taxiing. That was the second click there. And there's the available. All right, so engines are up and running. We can now come in here and turn the bleed off. And then I don't remember turning that on, but I guess I did. You know what? I was thinking that was the bleed. So I was up, down one when I did that. So we can cut this off. And our external power was off when the tug moved us. So we're all set to go. Don't really need this anymore. That's a blue plane, I'm telling you. I like this plane because it's on the side it says honoring our veterans. I forgot to check to see what time of day it is. We do have real weather running. All right, our runway's right to the left here. This sounded funny. Runway right to the left. That loud noise was me hitting too much throttle. It didn't like it. This is real sensitive right here. I don't have, you know, the throttle is not. All right, let's get ourselves lined up here. Parking brake on, make a double check on everything. Let's see. All right. Got that. I like to keep this around 40. Everything's looking okay. Let's run down here. We turn the APU off. Let's look at our status. Everything's good. Auto brakes on max. Signs are on. Cabin check. Oh, we need lights going, so let's do that. All right, we should have put our seatbelt light on. I'm screwed up on that one, but I was in a kind of a hurry this morning. Let's turn the strobe on, the beacon on. Nav is...
Flight attendants, armed doors, and cross check.
Nav was already on. Put our wing light on. I screwed up bad. I didn't have my taxi lights on. Hey, I'm still learning. I'll get a reprimand for that. How about that? All right, I think I got everything else okay.
Once again, we'd like to welcome you on board.
All right, we'll turn this down. We're going to put our weather radar on. The shear is on auto. Wind shear. Put that on auto and that on there.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Close and lock the cockpit door. I think we're okay. All right, now, if we're ready, I'm going to put my flap up, where flaps down 1. We're going to run up to the climb rate for speed. I like to do that because of my throttle. I think I mentioned that before. You should go up to flex, I suppose. You don't go to toga unless you're doing a touch and go. So most start at the flex speed, but my throttles are kind of messed up. And if I try to put it on flex and line it up correctly, because they're not linked. So while I'm fiddling with that, it gives me an error because it thinks I'm going to toga. So I like to go up into the climb rate because that's where I need to be anyway. And if there's plenty of room on the runway, I shouldn't have any problem. So I can click it up there and then snap it in like that. And then I've got plenty of runway. See, it already gave me an error because I was flipping it back and forth. But we'll be okay. There doesn't seem to be any wind up here today. Landing gear up. Now we've got a quick left. I think I can hit autopilot. Auto throttle. And let's see how we do. Looking good. Bye-bye, Albuquerque. Albuquerque. It's spelled kind of strange. All right, so we're following our path here, getting ready to straighten out, and we're slowly climbing. We're up to our 10,000 that we gave it, our limit, to start with. And so I can probably put the flaps back up now. Come in here, and we don't need some of these lights. We're not taxiing anymore. Okay, we're staying at the 10,000 that I set, and we can probably take a look at. Okay, we've got an initial 10,000. We're going to climb to 12. But we've got a little place to go, a ways to go. So we don't have to be up to 12 till we get to Speedy. So when we get to Rudder, what the hell is that anyway? Rudder, we'll set it to 12,000 feet, and we'll climb up to Speedy. What else we got here? Our cruise speed is at Gup. So when we get to Gup, we'll be up to 18,000. I'm going to pull this out so I can see it a little bit easier on my other monitor. Hey, we've got a spot called Baby. Baby, baby. Maybe, baby. Take a quick screenshot. Leaving Albuquerque. Hey, there's a stadium down there. That's cool. All right. So speed is... we're coming down to our speed, 260. Wants us down a little bit lower, and that's fine. That's why I put it on auto throttle. It takes care of all that for me. All righty. Okay, when you hit this button right here, it tells you what your altitude is supposed to be. So it wants us to start coming up. So I can do that to 12. Set that on auto. And you can see us. We're going to start to climb. That's showing us that we're to climb. That's our climb rate right there. A slow and gentle climb. Getting up there pretty quick. And there's our 12,000 right there coming down. Las Vegas should have some decent weather. I've never flown into Las Vegas. I usually, the practice things that I was doing was from Las Vegas. So I decided to change it up today and go the other way. There's our 12,000. Oh, I forgot to set my chrono. Oh, man. I'll set it now. It's a little late, but darn it. Set that one too. I didn't have my checklist up today. Why? I don't know. I should have had my checklist up, and I didn't. So we'll sit back and enjoy the ride. I never did check to see what time it is. What's that down there? Is that some kind of mining? Kind of looks like a mining situation, doesn't it? Huh. Some kind of a quarry anyway. Yeah, I never did check to see what time it was. Let's check the weather. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Perfect. Live weather. February 2nd, 2023. Sweet. All right, let's check to see what we got coming up here. So, yeah, we don't have to do anything till GUP. Bustle is up next. We just left Baby. Look at all the windmills over here. Right up on that bluff. Wow. Cool beans. Okay, so it doesn't hurt if I pop this up to 18. Again, I'll put it on auto. And what it will do is, being on auto like that, it'll go up when it wants to go up. If you notice the 18, the 18 is right here that we just set in there, and now it's going up. Okay, we're at 15,000. When we get to 18,000, that's our cruise altitude. It's kind of nice to have decent weather so you can see the scenery. This is pretty rugged country, isn't it? It looks pretty scarred up from weather and all kinds of things. Are we at 18? Yeah, we're close enough to 18. That's our cruising speed. So I can take the seat belts off. And let me check the barometer again. Let's see what that's. So it was 1029 in Albuquerque. We need 1030. So it's really close. It's a little bit, temperature's a little bit different, but okay, so we're at cruising. We'll be at cruising through Haha. And then when we get to Haha, we're gonna be getting close to the descent. So at Haha, I'll start bringing it down to 16.5. Well, that's odd. So we've got 18,000 is our cruise altitude. We've got a restriction at Peti of 16.5 and then back up to 18. I think I'm going to leave it. If I go down to 16.5, I'm going to leave it there. And then, because from there we'll be coming down to 11. And then 9,000, 8,000. There's our decel. And then we'll be going down to 4,800. And then we'll be coming in at 2,000. All righty. All right, we're coming into Bustle. A little bit of water underneath us there. Thoreau Airport. This area up here, does that look like snow or what is that white area? It looks lower level than some of the places here. That doesn't mean anything. This could be as high as you want. If it doesn't rain, it's not going to have snow on it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's sand over there. Maybe that's Salt Lake. I know it's not. clear skies. Little hazy clouds way in the distance. A little bit of wispy cloud. Or is that the moon? That's the moon. All right, we're coming up on Bustle. We're going to take a little bit of a jaunt to the right. At Bustle, we're going to get to the right a little bit until we get to Gup. There we go. A little bit of a turn. "25 miles to Gup." That little body of water down there, it looks tiny, doesn't it? But I bet it's not. If you were down there, it's probably big enough to boat on. What's that over there? That looks kind of strange. A little bit of rubberneck in here. Checking out things. Rama Lake Airstrip. Interesting. I might have to fly over that one of these days and see why that is all colored like that. Gallup Municipal. Now you gotta wonder, it's pretty, now there's something down there. Is that a town? What is that? Looks terraced. Even in rugged places like this, you got civilization. Otherwise, why would you have to have an airport? Know what I mean? Well, I don't know. Are those houses down there? It sure looks like it. Looks like houses. A little town of some kind. I can't see what that says over there. But yeah, that must be a little town. Right in that little valley. Gallup, New Mexico. I'll bet that's what that is. So it is. It's a town. I've heard of Gallup, New Mexico. All right, you got 8 miles to Gup. What was I going to do when we got to Gup? Anything? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There's Gallup, New Mexico. It looks like it runs in a straight line. A little bit of a city back here. But yeah, Gallup looks like it pretty much runs in a straight line along the freeway. All right, we're going to do a left turn here. And we're going to be heading towards Ha Ha. We got 146 miles to Ha Ha. So I'll leave it at 18,000. And when we get close to Ha Ha, I'll start bringing it down. So let's see, Ha Ha. At Patey, that's where we have the flight restriction, the altitude restriction. So I'm going to wait till I get a little bit closer before I set it down. We got, like I said, 100 and some nautical miles, 143. So I got plenty of time. I'll let it get up there about 75 miles, and then I'll drop the altitude down. Window Rock. That's an airport. Halfway between Vegas and not quite halfway. I mean, it's a little farther from Albuquerque. It's farther to this little airport that I found, and it's called. What was it? Was it West? Grand Canyon West. And I want to bring a smaller plane, and so that I can kind of be a tourist and sightsee around that. Oak Springs. Look at those gullies and valleys. That's just amazing. Just rugged country. So I don't know, is that snow? Ganado Airport over there. Wow. Amazing stuff that looks so amazing from a height. You just don't realize what the country looks like when you're on the ground. It's amazing. Now that must be, I don't know, it's just, what would make that so white if it wasn't snow? And what's that area right there? Is that another quarry or mine of some kind? It just looks like it's been terraced. Well, this is going to be a beautiful flight. We'll see what the landing's like. But yeah, that looks like some kind of a mining area down there. I'll have this beautiful flight and end it with a bad landing, but I'm getting better. I'm not crashing anymore. Kind of makes you wonder if that's snow. It just looks like a strip of bad weather. I mean, is it just really cold in that strip there? Let's pull up our little nav map and see what we're looking like. There's Gallup, New Mexico there. There's a Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon National Park. We don't quite fly over that, but we're on the west side. Yeah, pretty cool. See how everything's going in here. Well, we're right on the speed and the height, aren't we? Sweet. Autopilot's all looking good. So far, it's been a pretty smooth flight. I'm surprised. All right, if you look up here, when we're flying, we're on this line right here. That's our route, our flight plan. Up here, it tells you what's coming up. It's ha-ha, and we're at 105 nautical miles. When we started, it was 140 something. When this gets about 75 miles, I'll probably go ahead and set our altitude. It'll come down when it needs to come down. So, because I've got it all on the autopilot, but it's all programmed in. Look at that spiky looking area there. Looks kind of cool. I wonder if that's a freeway right there. That must be a road right below us there. Can you imagine driving through that? If you were down on the ground, you'd think that was pretty, flat road, even though it's coming up and down mountains and stuff. But look how straight that is. I wonder if that's one of those freeways that you can do 90 miles an hour on. I don't think so. There are places like that. I mean, it's kind of like the Autobahn. I mean, places where you can see forever. Or you think you can. That's kind of cool, these little round plateaus. They look flat, don't they? Beautiful blue airplane. Yes, I chose to fly JetBlue today, so I had to go out and get my skin of JetBlue. You wouldn't see one of these in this part of the country. JetBlue is out of New York, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know. One of these days I'll go look at some of the routes. There are things you can look at to find out what kind of routes they fly from. Graphs and charts, things like that. I've got one that shows me. I can click. I've got a chart that shows me the routes that a certain airport, a certain air company flies. Like you could pick Delta, and it would show you the flights out of a certain area of the country where Delta comes out of and goes to. And so that's kind of interesting. But it's a simulator. You can fly anything you want, anywhere you want, which is kind of cool. You get a particular plane you like to play. There are a lot of British people like their, what the hell they call that? It's an economy flight that they fly. Company that does cheap flights. Dang it, I had it on the tip of my tongue and now I can't drag it out. All right, we're at, I think, let's take a look. We got 16.5 restriction. It's 74 miles out to Ha-Ha. Payday, Ha-Ha. I'm going to wait a little bit longer. Ha-Ha says that you're to be 18,000 at Ha-Ha and come down to 16.5 from Ha-Ha to Payday. So I don't need to come down that quick. I'll wait a little bit closer to Ha-Ha. So technically I'm supposed to be at Ha-Ha at 18 at Ha-Ha and then from there start coming down. So I got plenty of time. I get over anxious, and that's kind of one of the problems I've got with landing. I'm not picking the time to come down or to go up right. I'm getting a little anxious, and I think that I have to come down right away. And so if I'm looking at this, there's my decel right after Prino. And I'm supposed to be down to 48 by Shand. I get anxious and I start coming down too soon because I keep thinking we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. But you do. I mean, it's in the computer. The computer's pretty smart. I just get over anxious and I overdo it, I think. And then I get that squawking, you're too low, you're too low. Wow, there's a whole lot of nothing below us now. Where are we at? There is a whole lot of nothing. Getting a little bit of greenish up here. Grand Canyon Caverns. This right here, we've got a lot of little airstrips on the canyon here. I think this one right here, 1G4, there's a little airport right here, and you can see by that line where the airport runway runs. The runway is running north to south and south to north, where this one's going diagonally east to west, as is this one, and that one, and that one. But this one, there's a canyon right to the right of this airport. And so this sits right at the top of the canyon. And that's the one I want to land on and just kind of fly around the canyon here. I haven't actually seen any of these others. I wasn't really watching. So we got 53 miles to Ha-Ha. Leche Airport. So if I go to that one airport I just talked about that sets up on the canyon, it's called Grand Canyon West, and it's closer to Las Vegas than it is to Albuquerque. So I'll probably make that trip if I do from Las Vegas and just fly out to that airport, fly around the canyon, get a good, rubberneck of the canyon, and then land up there and call it a trip, just a short little trip. Even so, that's at least an hour flight, so. "46 miles. What the hell would you call this? No man's land? There's just absolutely nothing down there. And that's easy to say from the air. There's probably plenty of stuff down there. It just looks so barren and rugged. Little pots of water here and there. There must be a little bit of life right up in here. And there's an airport, so there's got to be something going on. Yeah, we're just passing Leche. Now on my other map, there is a line crossed through Leche Airport, and it's got an X on it, like it's got something that's crossed through the airport. This is Flagstaff on the left. I've heard of that. Little mountain range coming up. 34 miles to Ha-Ha. At least it's getting greener. Is that a river? What the hell is that? Because it looks like it's... oh, no. Hard to say, isn't it? "28 miles to Ha-Ha." We got Ha-Ha coming up here, 27 miles. I'm going to double check the barometer, see if this changes. It does. Barometer's a little bit different up here. It's a lot quieter inside, isn't it? It's funny that this plane is so big, but look at the cockpit. I mean, you could reach back and touch the back wall. I wonder what we got in the coffee cup. I've been flying the 747 and I'm getting used to it. It's a lot more sophisticated. The computer is more sophisticated. It's a little bit different to fly, and I'm trying to get used to it. Man, you don't realize how much bigger the 747 is than the Airbus. It's got 4 engines, and you'd have to go to an airport, find an Airbus 320 and pull the 747 next to it, and you'll tell the difference. It's a monster of a plane. Now, it's kind of strange because when we were back farther, I thought we were going to go right over that. Wow, that looks like a meteor pocket, or whatever you'd call it. That must be a highway there, right there. Looks like at least 2 lanes. All right, we're 10 miles out of Ha-Ha. See what our instruments are doing. We're still at 18,000, about 290 knots. 8 miles out. All right, we need to drop down to 16.5. So remember that, because I'm going to ask you what it was, because I'm going to forget. 5 miles. It's quieter at the front of the plane. Two miles. All right, let's get in here. 16.5 if I remember right. So we're gonna click on that. There we go. Put that back up. We had just a tiny little bump to the right. And we should start coming down now. Here we go. We got 16.5 here. We'll be heading down that way. You can see this little green mark telling us what our climb's supposed to be.
Deck, ladies and gentlemen. As you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated till the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
All right, so I'm going to put the seatbelt signs back on. No smoking and no devices, electric devices. That's what that means there. So we got that. Here's the thing. If you look at the plan, we were at 18, and now we're heading down to 16.5. Huh. All right, so our next is after Rockstar. And Rockstar, let's see, Petty's coming up. It's 105 nautical miles, so it's a ways to Petty. And then we've got Rockstar, which is still 16.5. And it's not till Huxley that we come down to 11,000. All right, just keeping track of things so I don't get off track. And we're down to 16.5 already. That happened pretty fast. Well, it was only 2,000 feet. There's Vale. Vale. Huh. I wonder if that's the Vale. That's not the Vale, I don't think. That's more like Valley. I don't think that's Vale because we're not close to Colorado, are we? Clark Memorial. That sounds like a hospital. A little bit of water below us there. Yeah, that's Vail, Arizona. I'm looking at a chart over here. City Grand Canyon, it says. State of Province, Arizona. I bet there's a lot of places called Grand Canyon around here. Vail is the name of the airport, but it says the city's Grand Canyon. Well, it looks, again, like we're over a whole lot of nothing, but at least it's green. It's a green whole lot of nothing. Wonder what that little square is down there. Huh. It does look perfectly, well, nothing's perfect, but it does look squarish, doesn't it? Almost looks man-made, whatever it is. $80 miles to Patey. All right, there's that Grand Canyon Caverns up to the left there. It's interesting because it's got it on the map as City Peach Springs, the state of Arizona. Odd. Peach Springs. That second one there, right here, on the map, this airstrip is grayed out on the map. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it's got a mark through it. I wonder if it's not available for use or something. And then the one that I was talking about earlier that I want to fly to, it's actually a ways away, and it's also listed as Peach Springs, city Peach Springs. So that's it. That's the cavern one right over there. I might have to look at that one too when I go to the other one. I tell you what, I watch videos on things like that, like scuba divers going into caves and cave spelunker people going into caves. That is scary as all hell. And about 99.9% of the people that have gotten killed doing that kind of thing, it's been human error. Very seldom is it anything that isn't attributed to somebody making a mistake. And the funny part, well, it's not funny, laugh funny odd part is they're all listed as the experts in their field, but they do something stupid or something, not right, and it's, it turns into tragedy. I mean, obviously there's quite a few things that happen in caving and scuba diving that are done by people that aren't experts. They make rookie mistakes. But a majority of them are so-called experts. Now, I wonder if this is part of the Grand Canyon. There's some pretty deep canyons through here. All right, we've got 41 miles coming, 41 nautical miles here to Patey. And at Patey, Rockstar, Huxley, at Patey, it's only 10 nautical miles between Patey and Rockstar, so I think I'll start coming down to 11,000 right before Rockstar. Man, that is rugged looking. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. I've never been to Arizona. I've been to Nevada a few times. I think I was at Vegas twice. I've been to Lake Tahoe once or twice. Reno, everybody goes to Reno. I've been to Reno a half a dozen times. I'm not a gambler. I went with friends and family. We had a wedding at Reno once. Relative, my sister got married in Reno. I was the best man. I think they picked me as best man because I was the one best able to make a speech in our family. Actually, that sister, out of, I've got 12 siblings, and that sister and I were probably the closest. She's about 5 years younger than me. All right, we've got 24 miles. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of these things correctly. I call it Patey. But, I mean, what would you call that outside of Rockstar? I mean, what else could it be? Huxley is pretty easy. Halen, is it Prino or Prino? Who knows? Who cares? Now, it wants us to enter destination data. I pretty much have done most of that already. So, I don't think there's too much else I could do. Except for the barometer. I just need to watch the barometer. Let me change it again and see what happens. Right, it went down to 1029. And according to the flight plan, it's supposed to be 1031. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, 1031. So we'll see. I'll just keep watching it. All right, we're 16 miles out of Petty. You can see that on the instruments here. 16 miles, 15 miles now. And then we'll start coming down. Yeah, as you can see, that between Petty and Rockstar is pretty close. And Rockstar's the one I think we need to be down. Let's see. No, it was Huxley. Need to be at 11.5, but Huxley's not that far away from Rockstar. All right, what do we got going on outside? Aileron Orchards. That's the city of Medview, or Meadview. But it looks grayed out. It's on the map, so I'd have to look up, and see what does it mean if that airstrip is grayed out? Is it not available? I don't know. All right, what's happening? I think it's preparing for a turn because it's going to be taking a turn, and so speed is coming down. Again, the speed is all controlled right now by the autopilot. That's where it's heading down to, 250, and that's what you see right here, the 250 speed, that KT. So before I get into Petty, I'm supposed to be at a certain height, a certain speed restriction. So autopilot's taking care of that. All right, look, that's a triangle. Is that Illuminati? All right, making a hard right here. Well, we're making a soft right here. And we've got about 9 miles to Rockstar. And we should be staying at 250, or trying to. Obviously, when I took that turn, I picked up speed a little bit. And we got a little bit of turn now. If you notice, we're coming up on our downward plunge. So that's when I have to start going to work. And that's where I start getting real anxious. And I tend to do things before I'm supposed to. So our next step down is at Huxley to 11.5. Two miles. All right, let's get over here. And we're going to lower this to 11.5. And we should be coming down slightly. It's not real sharp. There's our 11.5. We'll begin down. All right, 6 miles to Huxley. And then we'll be at 11.5, and then we'll switch to 9,000, and then 8 at Preno. Now, a lot of people will just go ahead at this point, since we're getting really close here. They would either drop it down to the 8 right now, or clear down to the 48. I tend to be doing it too quickly, so I think I'm going to just drop it down to, when we reach Halen, we'd drop it down to 8. Huxley, we'd drop it down to 9. I think I'm going to, I might just drop it to 9 at Huxley. We got 2 miles to go. And the computer's going to take care of it for me, so I shouldn't have to worry too much about it. All right, so I'm going to drop it down to 8. And we'll skip the 9 part. Okay, so we're past Huxley, and it's coming down. And let's see if it stops at 9, because I'm supposed to be at 9 at Halen right here. There's our altitude, 9,000, 8 at Preno, but look how close they are. So I'll just set it at 8 and see what happens. We got 5 miles to Halen. And then we've got at Preno, we'll have a little bit of a left turn, and that's going to be our descent right there. And then it's a straight shot into Nevada, into Vegas. Hey, we're over water. Sweet. You can hear how quiet the engines are because we're trying to hold the speed down. Okay, we're at 2 miles out. And we're down to 10,000. 1 mile out. All right, we should be coming down some more now. We're at 9, kind of. Like I said, it happens so fast. We're into our left-hand turn. There's our 9,000. I'm going to set it now for the 4,800. Was it 4,800? Yeah, it's 4,800. I'm going to set that now. Actually, I'm just going to set it at 4. Nah, just do it like it's supposed to, I guess. Okay, 48. We're and then next we'll be at the airport. So, all right, I got some stuff to do. It's coming down. So let's see. I want to put some brakes on. I'll turn some medium brakes on. It won't let me do max for some reason. Put the brakes on, and then we want to make sure we've got the speed brakes armed. We'll get ready on the flaps here. Okay. And then let's double check the barometer. We've got 1029. It's now 1031, which is what it was supposed to be at Vegas. And we'll start watching our descent here. And I'm a little bit over. No, I'm fine on the speed, I guess. It wants us down to 21.6. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Right there. We'll set it there. Okay. And then I'm watching to see if we catch the guides. There it is. We're right. Let's go ahead and hit the approach. And we'll slow it down here pretty quick. We got the approach. I'm looking for the glide slope right here. And I'm hoping that the approach, it says it's locked. Yeah, it's locked. So we got that. Wow, it looks to me like we're really coming in too high. It's not coming down. This is not good. Yeah, we're not right. Okay. I'm gonna do a second try here. This isn't right. See, now the one time that I normally would have come down early, I didn't. So I'm not quite sure what's happened there. But let's bring her down. It was way too high. I don't know what happened. I mean, I did everything by the book.
2,500. $2,500. $1,000. $1,000. 1,000. $1,000. Retard. 5.
Okay, we made it down safe. That was a better landing than normal, considering I had to take over earlier than I thought. So, hey, we're getting better. I don't know what happened there. I followed the book on the, on the flight plan, but it had me way too high. So, hey, I guess that's why nobody usually brings a plane in all the way on autopilot. They usually stop the autopilot and they bring the plane in themselves. And there you go. Don't depend too much on the equipment. Yeah, it could have been I programmed it wrong. I doubt it though. But hey, here we are in Las Vegas. We're safe and sound. We got some coin jingling in our pockets. We'll go in and see if we can lose it. And there you go. Everybody's safe and sound. I don't know if these are big enough for me. I'm just going to pull into one. Yeah, that's going to be the next thing. Learning how to get into an airport and where to go, what to do, that kind of thing. You notice how I've got the towers turned off. They were irritating. I was nervous enough as it was, much less them squawking at me all the time. So here we are at Las Vegas. We made it safely. I'm going to go ahead and shut down the engines and grab my money bag and head in and see if I can lose some money. Hope you had fun. Hope to see you in the next one. Ta-ta for now.